Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the 3 Count Super. I'm War Machine MJ, and I'm here today to talk about NXT from April the 29th and May the 6th. So let's go ahead and jump right into this with the April 29th edition of NXT. We kicked off the show with more interim NXT Cruiserweight Championship action, as Isaiah Swerve Scott took on El Hijo de Fantasma. So essentially, for you Lucha Underground nerds like me, it was Killshot taking on King Cuerno. And these two went pillar to post, high octane, fantastic, just all over the place. But Isaiah Swerve Scott put El Hijo del Fantasma away with the crucifix pin. Afterwards, while Fantasma was getting his head together after the loss, he was jumped by two dudes in a luchador mask trying to kidnap him, like they had done unsuccessfully before, and like how they had kidnapped Raul Mendoza and Joaquin Wilde, who we haven't seen them in weeks. Anywho, next we had a Dominic Dijakovic promo where he basically just challenged Johnny Gargano to a match. Next we had the heel debut of one Candice LeRae, who has gone from Pixie to Poison. So she's now pint-sized Poison. Anyway, she took on her former friend, Casey Catanzaro. And while Candice LeRae was coming out to just a whole bunch of new stuff, a new theme, new ring gear, new entrance video, and whole time Johnny Gargano was just, he was over the moon about her, husband and wifey goals. Anyway, yeah, he said a lot of fun stuff, including kicks so deadly that they're an appropriate form of birth control. I thought that one was hilarious. Anyway, Candice LeRae basically toyed with Catanzaro throughout the whole match and put Catanzaro away with the Wicked Stepsister, which is basically where she grabs the opponent by the arms and just curb stomps. Afterwards, she beat down on Catanzaro some more and locked her in the Gargano escape. Next, we had NXT's attempt at a game show with dubbed the Newly Broed Show between Matt Riddle and Tim Thatcher, where they had Tom Phillips put on his best cheesy game show host or game show voiceover voice, and Byron Saxton was the cheesy game show host. And this was, just a fun little new spin on the Newlywed Game. Of course, there was a laugh track, and basically everything was going over Timothy Thatcher's head. But this was broken up by, or this was interrupted by Fabian Eichner and Marcel Barthel of Imperium. Yeah, they basically disposed of Matt Riddle and beat down on Tim Thatcher before they stood tall with the prize. Next, Adam Cole, Bay, the greatest NXT champion of all time, since he beat Finn Balor's record, basically dropped the news that William Regal had set up an NXT Championship defense against the Velveteen Dream. We'll get to that in a little bit. Next, we had Charlotte Flair taking on Mia Yim. Um, yeah, Charlotte got the win with the figure eight. No surprise. After the match, Io Shirai, yeah, she made her presence known, basically telling Charlotte that next week she is hers. Afterwards, there was another Karrion Kross video package. And then it was revealed that or it was revealed that next week on the program, Finn Balor would address the person that attacked him. Next, we got Dexter Lumis taking on Shane Thorne. Shane Thorne brought a little offense to Dexter Lumis. However, Dexter Lumis was too much as he choked out Shane Thorne. Next, we had more interim NXT Cruiserweight Championship tourney action as Drake Maverick took on Tony Nese, and Nese dominated majority of this match, out muscling Drake, and the whole arena was just lit up with his screams of pain and torture. However, Drake Maverick did put away Tony Nese with a bulldog off the top rope, securing a win in the Cruiserweight Championship tourney, and he cut a very elated promo afterwards. And finally, our main event for the week was NXT North American Champion Keith Lee, Limitless Keith Lee, defending against Damian Priest. This was one hell of a big man contest. Towards the finish, however, Damian Priest tried to win through some dubious methods with his collapsible nightstick. However, Keith Lee wasn't catching none of it, or wasn't taking none of it. He caught the hand with the nightstick, yanked it from Priest's grasp, casually collapsed it, handed it over to the ref, and put Damian Priest away with 2 Spirit Bombs, securing his North American Championship. Next, we move on to the May 6th edition of NXT, where we kicked off the show with Johnny Gargano showing off his new heel persona as all heart and no soul, taking on Dominik Dijakovic. Of course, Johnny Gargano was flanked at ringside by his wifey, Candice LeRae. And for a good while, Dominik Dijakovic had this victory in the palm of his hand. However, down the finish, Johnny Gargano threw Dijakovic into an exposed turnbuckle, which he exposed earlier on in the match, and put Dijakovic away with the one final beat. Next, we had more interim NXT Cruiserweight Championship action as Akira Tozawa took on Jack Gallagher and defeated Gallagher with a senton from the top rope. And he's got his sight, and Tozawa has his sights set on Kushida. Next, we had Chelsea Green of Robert Stone Brand taking on Xia Li. Towards the finish of the match, Aaliyah interfered, distracting Xia Li, allowing Chelsea Green to hit the I'm Prettier for the win. Yeah. They then did a little tease of Aaliyah basically catching the eye of Robert Stone for his brand, which, you're a manager, you got to build a portfolio. Next, we had an awesome, amazing, just pulled out all the freaking stops. The debut of Karrion Kross and Scarlett, aka, formerly known as Killer Kross and Scarlett Bordeaux, respectively. God, this was just amazing. Like from a production standpoint, and just all the bells and whistles that went into this, because they had a really good Titantron. The whole thing was in black and white up until where the music picked up. We had slow and ominous music. We had Scarlet with some erratic lip syncing, which I thought was a tad on the corny side, but whatever. Killer Cross being menacing as all hell, and just a really fire entrance track. 10 out of 10. Like, as far as packaging goes, this is just spot on for NXT. It's right up there with Demon Balor, Aleister Black, Sanity, you name it. Um, Karrion Cross then, I would say, took on Leon Ruff in his debut match, but he annihilated Leon Ruff. Two side suplexes, and then locked him up in the straitjacket, just over like that. That poor bastard got destroyed. Next, we had NXT Women's Championship action as Io Shirai cashed in her number one contendership contract against Charlotte Flair. Now, this was a pretty good match up until the finish, where once Io Shirai had the momentum swing in her favor, Charlotte then decided enough was enough, produced a kendo stick, and just laid into Io Shirai and started targeting one of Io Shirai's legs, basically trying to put her out. Even locked in a figure four on the ring post. Before that was, well, that was prevented by the returning Rhea Ripley. Of course, Rhea Ripley then ran off Charlotte Flair, and Ripley, well, basically she wants her rematch. Then Io Shirai was following Rhea Ripley, yelling in Japanese, and all Rhea Ripley could muster was "shut up," which I thought it was great. During the commercial break, Io Shirai and Rhea Ripley kept their dialogue going until they got to a scrap. Next, we had more Cruiserweight Championship action as Kushida took on Jake Atlas. And yeah, this was a fairly competitive match. Jake Atlas is pretty good for being relatively new to the NXT fold. However, Kushida put away Jake Atlas with an armbar. Basically, one of the top dogs of the tourney. Next, Finn Balor cut a promo, and he basically blurred the line between kayfabe and shoot, because he talked about whoever attacked him is setting up to get the big fat push, with all the smoke, with all the pyro, with all the music, all that stuff. But yeah, he basically said there's a lot of snakes in the tall grass, and the only way to take out a snake is to cut off its head. Next, there was an announcement where Matt Riddle and Tim Thatcher will take on Imperium for the tag team titles next week. Next, Cameron Grimes took on Denzel Dejournette in a fairly competitive match, but Cameron Grimes put away Denzel Dejournette with the cave-in. Afterwards, Cameron Grimes started cutting a promo, basically talking all that good shit, until Finn Balor just kind of strolled up on him. Grimes then said, without knowing Balor was there, basically saying he would walk right up to Balor and slap the taste out of his mouth. He turns around and Balor's basically calling him out on that shit. Basically tell him, why don't you do it now? Why don't you do it now? Of course, Balor then put down Cameron Grimes, and he vowed to find his attacker and make him pay. And finally, in the main event, we had Adam Cole, baby, defending his NXT championship against the Velveteen Dream. Dream, baby. This was a fairly back and forth match. However, down the stretch, Bob Fish and Roderick Strong tried to get involved, but they were ambushed by one Dexter Loomis, who was hiding under the ring. When the ref was basically telling them to break it up and was trying to throw them out, Dexter Loomis accidentally threw Roderick Strong into the referee. Velveteen Dream landed the Purple Rainmaker, but and he had Adam Cole dead to rights for a full 6 or 9 count, whichever, take your pick. But referee wasn't revived in time. Adam Cole then put Velveteen Dream away with the last shot, and the referee counted 1, 2, 3. Adam Cole, baby, is still your NXT champion. So yeah, that's how we closed out NXT from May 6th. And that is the show. Now, you know our usual spiel. If you miss Rodimus Prime and his opinions, go check out Prime Talk with Rodimus Prime on the Castbox app. Yeah, he talks about all sorts of sports and wrestling, so go check him out. That being said, I'm War Machine MJ, and I will see you guys next time. Ba-bang.